Hi, I'm Leonora Dillon. I'm the Education Curator here at the Salisbury Zoo. We're glad you're joining us to catch up with the zoo crew today. We're going to have folks that are talking about the Zoo Commission, a part of the zoo that a lot of folks don't even know about. One of our docents giving us information about one of the events coming up, our Critter Christmas. We're also going to have one of our education interns giving some cool information about one of our education ambassadors. So make sure that you stick around so that you can find out all the cool stuff about our folks that are here at the zoo as well as our critters. I want to tell you about a neat event that we're having. It's called Cookies with Santa. It's on December 3rd and it's from 2 until 4. We're taking registrations through the education department, so you can give us a call at 443-944-0636 to register. The event's going to be a lot of fun. Students come in and they'll get to create a craft. Once the craft, or while the craft is going and even after the craft is finished, they'll be able to enjoy lots of yummy cookies. And of course, Mrs. Claus and Santa will come in and join us so that they can give their Christmas wish list as well as give lots of hugs. Now, we'd like for you to meet Miss Mary Jane Swafford. She's going to tell you about one of our other events that we're doing here, Critter Christmas. So we're going to go off to Mary Jane now.
Thanks, Leonora. My name's Mary Jane, and I've been a docent at the Salisbury Zoo for 15 years. And I'm here to tell you about one of my most favorite events of the year, and that's Critter Christmas. We're going to hold Critter Christmas on 2 separate Saturdays this year. The first will be December 9th from noon until 4 p.m. and then again on December 16th from noon until 4 p.m. And what happens during Critter Christmas? First of all, our elves at the zoo, our docents and our staff are busily working to set up 15 craft stations for the children. Some of them will be in the education building, others will be in the Wolf building, so they'll all be under cover. These are not only for the children to make gifts for your home, but also remember us grannies and grandmoms. They love to get these homemade gifts that the children have made. While this is going on, I have it on special inside information that we're going to have 2 celebrities. Mr. and Mrs. Claus have agreed to come to both Saturday sessions. They will be talking to your children and getting their wish list. So be prepared to bring your cameras so that you can document their visit with Santa and Mrs. Santa. While this is all going on, you may think that this is only for children, but in reality, we're going to have a craft fair during this session, and our crafters will come from the outside. I don't know what they'll bring, but I can assure you from past experience that you'll be able to pick up one-of-a-kind gifts, and the array of gifts are beyond imagination. Also, the docents will be hosting a table, and they have collected from people's attics and Christmas castaways gently used items that they'll be selling. And the proceeds from all of these will go to the education department at the zoo. Now, don't forget our bake sale table. I encourage you to get there early because our bake sale goods always go first. Now, to wash some of these bake sale goods down, our Herb Society, the timekeepers that take care of our herb garden, will be having a table set up with hot drinks, cocoa, coffee, tea, and they can go with your visit with Santa or with your bake sale goodies as you walk around and enjoy them. Also, because we've had such terrible weather in our garden the last few years, we've been under flood for 10 days in 2016 and underwater again at the end of August this year. So to replenish our treasury, we'll be offering pollinators. These pollinators look like dragonflies, different colors, and initially we called them dragonfly key rings, but the more of these we sell, the more we realize how many different uses they have. One of our docents said she was going to use them on her Christmas tree as decorations. Someone else said that they were going to use a bright colored one to mark their luggage so that when it came onto the carousel from the airplane, you could see it quickly. So we encourage you to come and help support our garden by donating to our soft drink table and by giving a donation for one of these. So we hope you all come. There's no admission to get into the zoo for this Critter Christmas event. There is very moderate cost for some of the craft items, but we do encourage you to come either or both days. And as a member of the docents and as a member of the Herb Society and all the staff at the zoo, we wish you happy holidays, and we hope to see you for Critter Christmas. And I'm going to turn this back over to Leonora. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary Jane. We really appreciate that. Next, we're going to be talking with Ron Alessi. He's our Zoo Commission Board Chair. So off to Ron.
Thanks, Leonora. I'm Ron Alessi. I'm Chairman of the Salisbury Zoo Commission. I've been a member of the Commission since 1990 and had been involved with the zoo for 4 or 5 years prior to that time as a member of the Friends of the Salisbury Zoo and did a lot of volunteer work. It's been a great thing for me to be part of the zoo. I've met some really great people. But one thing I want to talk about a little bit is the Zoo Commission. The Zoo Commission, right now we have 9 members, which were appointed by the mayor and city council to help manage the zoo. Now our role has changed quite a bit over the years. Early on we did a lot more actually management of the zoo. Now that's been taken over properly by people that are much better qualified and experts in the field. The Zoo Commission came into effect about 55, about the mid-50s. Actually, I think commission was, the zoo was founded in the 50s, and the Zoo Commission actually was founded or set up by the city in the 60s. I actually was appointed by Mayor Paul Martin, and been reaffirmed by the subsequent mayors. We have, as I said, we have 9 members, but we're not limited to that. We're always looking forward to have new members on the commission. We look for outside ideas and thoughts and help us to do the things that we try to do. Again, our role has changed dramatically. Primarily, one of the things we did was to raise funds for the zoo, but now there are other organizations, DZS, which does that job for us. And our biggest, I think, and most important function now, and you're going to hear from a friend of mine and a fellow Zoo Commission member, is education. And that's where we dedicate our time and efforts. And we have to raise about $300,000 a year for the things that we do. About $200,000 goes primarily to education. Again, it's a great zoo. We love to bring people on the commission. I told you that we have 9 members, but we're not limited to 9 members. So, if you're interested, if you would call the zoo and contact somebody there, or call for me, Ron Alessi. I certainly would love to talk to you and give you an idea what's it all about, and hopefully you might find some interest. So thank you. It's been nice talking to you. Thank you, Leonora.
Thank you, Ron. We appreciate you giving us that information. Next, we're going to be talking to Eric Pippin. He's one of our zoo commissioners. So let's go talk to Eric.
Thank you, Leonora. My name is Eric Pippin. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Salisbury Zoo Commission. Been a proud member of the Commission for more than 6 years. Started out with the Friends of the Salisbury Zoo, and I've always been interested in the zoo. One thing I wanted to stress after you heard Ron giving some history of the zoo, you don't have to be an animal lover to be very productive at the zoo. The purpose of the Commission is to support education, conservation, and of course the recreation of the zoo. Let's talk a little bit about education. On the Zoo Commission, we actually have a member of the Board of Education. We're getting ready to have a principal of one of the Wicomico County schools on the commission. What we try to do is coordinate with the different school efforts, with different visitations of the school through the Board of Education, through school tours of the zoo. We also support education financially through funds at the zoo in which we can bring in some of these other activities. The other is conservation. A good example is the bear that the Salisbury Zoo just picked up, Pinocchio. Pinocchio was a rescue bear, that is, it could not be released into the wild from Ecuador. We sent 2 of the zookeepers down to Ecuador, and they were able to learn more about conservation probably in that trip than they ever would have in Salisbury, Maryland. It was a compound in which they would try to release animals into the wild, most of the time very successfully. So that's experience. It's something that a Salisbury zookeeper may not be able to get. So now we have the opportunity of a new bear, new beginnings for the zoo with new opportunities of the bear, and all through conservation. The other is recreation. Look around the zoo, you'll see a lot of new things. Take an opportunity to come visit the zoo. It's a great place to walk at lunchtime, and we hope that you can enjoy the zoo. So thank you, Leonora.
Last up is Emily Burris. She's one of our education interns, and she's going to introduce to you one of our education ambassadors so that you'll get to see one of our animals that we have here that we can bring out to programs, or that you can come in and visit here at a program at the zoo. Off to Emily.
Thanks, Leonora. I'm Emily. I'm an intern here at the Salisbury Zoo, and this is my lovely Turkey Vulture. Turkey is very, very big. He is a raptivore. Their wingspan can reach up to 6 feet with a length from tail to head of, that's my finger, with a length from tail to head up to 25 to 34 inches. And they can weigh at an average of 4 to 5 pounds. He's one of our biggest birds here at the zoo. Turkey has a beautiful, pure red head. It doesn't have much feathers. They have this adaptation because when they are in the wild, they eat carcasses before they decompose. And so a featherless head will help him keep all the gunk from the carcass off his head. They are always characterized and envisioned with death because they always eat dead carcasses. That's what they're known for. But in ancient cultures like India, for example, they are the gatekeepers to the underworld, so they are very important to old cultures. They are also important to the ecosystem because they will eat decaying carcasses before the bacteria can spread. Now that bacteria will be in their stomach, so they have a special chemical that will help them from getting sick. However, when they are threatened, they can decide to upchuck their last food, which smells really bad, and the scent alone is enough to get rid of anything that's scaring him. His nose, if you guys can see, is completely through. You can see his nostrils. That helps him with sense of smell. Turkey vultures have one of the best senses of smell, and they can hunt on scent of smell alone. Alrighty, thank you, Leonora, back to you.
Thanks, guys, for all the great information that you've given us. We're so glad that you decided to join us and catch up with the zoo crew. Want to remind you not to forget, Cookies with Santa is December 3rd. Our Critter Christmas is December 9th and the 16th. And of course, keep your ears open to find out when Pinocchio's party here at the zoo will take place. Thanks again for catching up with the zoo crew here on Pack 14. Look for you next time.